Welcome to the Elevated Marketing podcast show that is designed for business owners and marketers who are tired of overhyped advice. We talk through what we're testing, we challenge assumptions, and we share what's really happening in the world of marketing, which is messy, creative, and always evolving. Welcome to the show. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Elevated Marketing Solutions. My name is Jennifer Denny. I am the founder of Elevated Marketing, if you didn't already figure that out by my intro. If you are new, maybe you haven't been around for all of our episodes, I certainly encourage you to go back. We've been doing this for close to 6 years now, so we've got quite a bit a library of episodes. And today I want to talk about when you should hire a marketing agency versus continuing to do your own marketing. And, for some people, it might be pretty valid that you do have the skill set to do your own marketing. And, congrats. That's a great thing. But, there's some things you have to consider as to when that kind of can fall apart is, there's only so many hours in the day. And while you might be good at it and that you can do it, maybe it shouldn't be your main thing that you do. The second reason could be that maybe you're good at a couple of things within marketing, but modern marketing really requires you to have a pretty large scope of skill sets. And so, it could be painful to, not have those additional skill sets. And so you need to hire somebody else. Another reason is not having a feedback loop. So when you're doing marketing yourself, it's easy to get trapped into your own thinking and not have somebody to kind of give you that bouncing off ideas that you need in order to be successful with marketing. So you might be continually doing the marketing, but do you have the time to do, the clean tracking and the cadence of constantly learning how marketing has changed? Maybe not. And then the last item I see is, might be right reason to hire a marketing agency when you're not understanding the strategy of when to do what. So understanding the sequencing of I need to work on this before I work on this. So you're more of checking the boxes. You're sending out the email. You're getting the social media. You're running some ads. You're writing some content, but not really understanding the sequencing, how all of that plays together. And that's usually when things start to go wrong in doing DIY, because you're putting in part-time efforts but you're expecting full-time results. And so what you really need is a marketing partner, not a vendor, but a partner, that you can look towards and look at that. So if time constraint, skills constraint, decision clarity constraint, like all of these things are what can cause you to kind of rethink, do I need to hire a marketing agency? You can always figure it out. We're in this world of the lovely internet where we can Google and look anything up and ask this AI and this agent, but maybe you need to get to speed quicker, and having a marketing agency will give you the additional capital of people in order to do that for you. So once you kind of work through that, you might start thinking about like DIY versus contract versus agency versus in-house. DIY is right when you have more time than money. So if you've got a lot of time, then kind of doing it yourself is what you need to work towards. But, you know, you might want to think about a contractor if you just have one specialized thing that you need, like you need a landing page or graphic design or just paid search management. And so a contractor can be a great place to start. But when you get to the level that you need to have a coordinated team with multiple people with specialties, that's when a marketing agency comes in. They're going to own the planning, the execution, the performance improvement, and it's kind of the next evolution in business. And then there becomes, hiring somebody in house. Sometimes the agency comes first, and sometimes hiring in house comes first. When you've got that competitive advantage and you just don't have enough volume to dedicate like the ownership of that, then you can hire somebody in-house to help manage the marketing agency. That's where sometimes there's could possibly be the stepping stone where you hire somebody in-house, but then they become the DIY. And for the same reason that the DIY didn't work, the in-house only solo person will also kind of fall apart. They start to lack time. They start to lack the skill set. They lack having any kind of insight, from an outside view. And so it kind of repeats itself where then you're like, okay, then I need to get back to a marketing agency to have that. So, there's a lot to think about on, whether or not to DIY it or hire a marketing agency or hire in-house. But all the reasons are there to think through, like where you're at in your business and the kind of decision that you need to make. So hopefully this was helpful for you to kind of think through that and decide like where you are at. And if you enjoyed today's show, I certainly would enjoy, subscribing to the show, whether that's on YouTube or any of the podcast networks, or you can follow me at Jennifer Denny, Denney on LinkedIn. And I hope everyone has a great day. Take care.